What's up, everybody? Hello and welcome to another match on Khaldor TV. Today we're taking a small break from Road to BlizzCon. We have actually another tournament here, and it is the Enter the Storm qualifier. It is the last qualifier actually, and if you don't know the system, you play in one of or you can actually play all 9 qualifiers for Enter the Storm, and you gather ranking points, and then at the end of all those 9 qualifiers, you have a chance to actually participate in the main event depending on your standing. And this is the last qualifier right now, and it's actually a very interesting situation. Since Team Mozzarella that is playing in here is a team of players that have been playing for teams like Nihilum, like Fnatic, and they just recently formed, and this is like the first qualifier that they're able to play, and they are in the finals now, meaning that if they actually win this thing, they are in the main event. If they lose though, they don't stand a chance of advancing. Meteor Makers, on the other hand, they already are participating in Enter the Storm 3 in the main event, but still they want to have the prize money here, so they are playing for this either way. And our first map in the best of 3 series now is on Khaldor, and we actually have pretty cool combos here for both of the teams. In the case of Team Mozzarella, we're having them now with Khaldor and also a Zagara, and on the other side we're having a Leoric and also the Johanna. So very, very strong combos here going on for both of the teams. It was still a bit of a surprise to see Meteor Makers go for that Tyrande on the last pick in that draft, and we're going to see how that works out for them. This is of course a best of 3 series. We're going to jump in game number 1 on Khaldor without further ado. The final of the Enter the Storm qualifier. It is the last qualifier and is also the last chance for Mozzarella. The team goes up against Meteor Makers, and map number 1 is Khaldor. To the left side of the map we have Meteor Makers with Leoric, played by Remaballer, Be Certified on Malfurion, Stalk on Johanna, and Blade on Vala, with Crisplosion playing and Tyrande in this case. To the right side of the map, a newly formed team. It is Team Mozzarella. We have Tazdingo, a former Nihilum player, on Zagaras, Mexistal on Mirrodin, Tidaka on Tyrael, Ace of Spades, who played for Fnatic on Uther, and Holo is playing Khaldor. This is the first time that Mozzarella was able to participate in the Enter the Storm qualifier, and it's a very interesting situation in the standings now for them, because as it happens, if they are able to take the victory in this tournament, then they will qualify for the main event. This is the last qualifier, and they are currently in a very good position. They just need to win the finals here against a strong team like Meteor Makers to make sure that they get enough points so that they end up in the standings, in the ranks, so that they can end the main tournament, which is going to start next week. So that's going to be pretty epic if they can actually manage that. The team doesn't exist for long, but all of these players have of course been around for ages, so this game is super important for them, not only because they want to win the tournament, but also because it would mean that they qualified. Meteor Makers is already qualified, but of course there's also prize money on the line here, and they want to get that and all that prestige. So currently up at the top we have a tri-lane with Holo and Tazdingo and Ace of Spades. You can see that we have for both teams combos where we are having two tanks. The interesting part is that for the last pick, Meteor Makers decided to go into a Tyrande. And I strongly disagree with that pick, to be honest. I'm very, very interested to see how it's going to turn out for them, because I feel that you're just simply lacking the damage. One of the things that probably figured into that thought process was that they wanted to deny the Tyrande to their opponent, and that was kind of smart, because, well, a Tyrande would have wrecked for Team Mozzarella here. It would have been absolutely amazing for them to have the Mirrodin together with a Tyrande and an Uther in there. But now they can still rely on their Zagara and on their Khaldor. They have very solid damage. The damage dealers were actually prioritized during the bans, and therefore we had a very awkward situation for Meteor Makers. Nice lockdown attempt against Leoric, but a bit too late. The only thing that Meteor Makers can do, I feel, is in the early game put so much pressure on and get a few kills in that they will establish a lead in experience and therefore have a level and talent advantage over their opponents. If that doesn't happen, then I feel, especially after level 16, when we're going to see Khaldor do his damage with Ignite, it's going to be extremely difficult for them to win the team fights. So I'm looking super forward to how this game is going to turn out here. Tyrande is going, of course, into a damage build. I mean, she has no other choice. They go into Seasoned Marksman and also Searing Arrows. So that was never really in the question, because with the build or with the composition that they have, they needed to make sure that Tyrande dishes out a lot of damage. And it is actually a build that has been used in the past by various teams, and a few of them even going as far as to take talents like Hunter's Fury on level 13. Virtus Pro is a team that we oftentimes name in that context. For now we have tributes already on the map, but still a Tyrande is kind of squishy, and we all know how much damage Khaldor can really dish out. So this is going to be a very, very good start, I feel, for Team Mozzarella in this best of 3 series, but maybe that Tyrande works out for Meteor Makers after all, and we're gonna find out. Blade gets away, and they're turning around to put some more damage in against Leoric. He is super low, and he was the entire time. We're seeing down here Stork trying to catch this first tribute, and this is also a very interesting dynamic that we have, because Stork was also part of Team Nihilum. And now he's facing an old teammate of his. He's going up against Tazdingo. Both of them went different paths, and now we have them facing each other. So that is probably going to create even a bit more tension in this game. The teams are currently on level 6. We're seeing Boundless Conviction on Uther as the talent. And also, of course, after that Searing Arrow, having now with Tyrande a lot more auto attack damage in the game, which usually forces her to go into her Nexus Frenzy on level 20. The mid lane is being pushed very hard, by the way, on the side of Meteor Makers. Of course, Crisplosion is going to use his owl as much as he can to also check those bosses then later on. So far, he doesn't really feel that need, but he will definitely do that later. Level 7 hitting a bit faster here for Team Mozzarella. Triple battle momentum on Tyrael, Muradin, and on Zagara. So that's a lot of cooldown reduction that we're seeing for them. Zagara with the creep tumors everywhere over here up at the top lane. Down there was another attempt for a stun already. The renewal for Leoric, and the teams are doing a very good job at just soaking experience wherever they can. Making sure that they're not falling behind. At the top, Ace in a bit of trouble, but they're trying to turn it around here. And Tazdingo with even more damage now against Leoric. And oh, he could potentially die, and he does. The first kill in the game. He's gonna be back soon, but still, that's extra experience that ends now in the hands of Team Mozzarella. And they are trying to go for the next tribute down here, probably. Malfurion is making his way over. The tribute is gonna spawn in another 6 seconds. The top lane, of course, Leoric is absolutely unimpressed of what's going on in the rest of the map, but he has Tazdingo and Zagara against him. Helthas is now going straight for Be Certified. Malfurion is also eating a bit of damage here, and the rotation is happening. It's ongoing, as we can see here. We have now the repeating arrow for Vala with that extra vault that she has, and down here, well, Blade, Be Certified. They need to be careful that they don't get stunned, but Smaxy style with a zoning hammer into the empty space. Blade is extremely low, and by the way, he doesn't have mana either, so that's a problem. No more spells by him, and also no escapes any longer. T-Darker plays a pretty mean Tyrael, and he is going to try and prove that, but Malfurion is the target that they take down first. Now they have nearly a level lead over their opponent, and they also get this first tribute for them. So it's a split in tributes, 1-1. We have Ace in the mid lane, and so far things are actually looking pretty decent here for Team Mozzarella. The top lane is getting pressured by Tazdingo. Ramabola is of course going to move in for this, but there should be another Hydra in just a second, put even more damage on him, and actually there is. So Leoric has to be super careful. He needs to go back, like he can't just simply sit there the entire time. The pressure is real, and we're seeing level 10s now approaching for Team Mozzarella, so that's going to give them a bigger lead in the game as is already. And as before, they're rotating towards the boss. With a heroic ability, they're just saying, hey, we're going to use that. We're going to take the boss. Up at the top, Leoric is losing more and more HP, and that's a big issue for him, even especially since Zagara is also now zoning Blade out. The mid lane is being pressured. I actually think that at this point, Meteor Makers is pretty sure that they know what's going on. They know that the boss is taken, and they're just simply saying, listen, we can't contest it, but the one thing that we can do is at least drop the mid lane here and make sure that we're also getting our level 10s. The boss about to be claimed as the level 10 abilities. We're now seeing Divine Shield, Judgment, Phoenix, Avatar, and more. Boss is there, and Tazdingo is a bit low. Ramabola moves in. Yeah, he's eating the damage now, but he should be able to get away. Or will he? Ace with a stun. March of the Black King turns it around, but Leoric is dying. Leoric is dead. Level 10s now for both of the teams, and they are starting to fight. And here comes the judgment against Tyrande. Tyrande is low, and Tyrande will die. She's not going to get away from this one, but what about Vala? There's another stun, and this is a triple kill for Mozzarella. 5 kills against 0, even with the Starfall, the Blessed Shield, and also, of course, that Rain of Vengeance that Vala dropped. It's not enough to stop that onslaught. It's a 1-level lead that we're now seeing once again for Team Mozzarella. They took down the fort at the top lane, and they are looking at an extremely good position there. It's just not enough damage. Tyrande is another squishy target for Judgment once that cleanse has been used by Malfurion. In this case, he wasn't even in the fight. They can just simply move in and take her down. There's so much burst that they have with the Flame Strike, the Phoenix, Judgment, and of course all the other talents that they're currently using here with Dingo going for the Hunter Killer, that it's just too tricky to keep Tyrande alive. She didn't really add anything just yet, and this is why I didn't like that pick in the first place. Maybe later on they can turn it around, but so far it hasn't really paid off for them. They didn't get any kills thanks to Hunter Killer, and it's 5 kills against 0. The only thing that, yeah, I guess Mozzarella has to make sure of is that they don't get too greedy here. They can't overextend. Once again, the zoning Stormbolt, not hitting anything but empty air. And at the bot lane, we are having now Tyrande, well, actually, it's pre-certified on his Malfurion and going up against Dingo, and so far it's not looking too good for him. The rotation is happening towards that camp over here, and they're just trying to steal this one away, and they can force them back quite easily. There's the Flame Strike, there's even a Phoenix, great for zoning, and they move in, steal this camp away. There's another tribute now on the map, and this one is up at the top, so they could curse potentially now. And that would be amazing for them. They will get the level 13 talent, and that is basically a secured curse. Unless Crisplosion steals it away, and currently it looks like he will. Job well done, good move by Meteor Makers. That was a very important action here from Tyrande. Very well done. They're trying to go for Rema Baller now though, and Ace is making sure that no matter where Leoric goes, he is going to die. Now, March of the Black King, they move out of the way, but Leoric is going to drop. They try to move him down here. Ace, yeah, they are moving in with a stun, and goodbye Leoric. More experience for them, and in the mid lane, it's still Dingo. Dingo is making sure that nothing happens here, even with the Condemn. Johanna won't be able to do too much. Both of the teams are now on level 13, and well, as you can see here, we are having a double Burning Rage. The bot lane is attacked, and I'm not sure if that's really going to work out for them. Smexy Star is already putting more pressure on Be Certified, who for some reason is just split from the rest of the team. Meridian apparently jumping right in there. We're seeing one ice block on Malfurion. That's quite important for him, so that he has a bit of survivability, but of course it also means that he's going to have a lot less healing numbers in the later stages of the game. That will be a problem against someone like Khaldor. I'm not sure if I really like that ice block. I can totally understand why he went for it, because there is the potential that he's being focused, but I feel like he should have just try to rely on his positioning, because let's face it, if you do not have life seed, then that Khaldor is gonna wreck you later on in the game, or at least he should be able to. Over here, kill against Sagara with a good start. No, the stun not hitting. There is a tribute, and in this case it's a 5 versus 4. They are going straight for the kill, and they take down Malfurion. No ice block in this case saving him. Blade is low, and so is Tyrande. Both of them died. They get wrecked with another Flame Strike, and even in a 4 versus 5 situation, granted more 4 versus 4 since Leoric was just doing Leoric things, we have now the curse against the blue team. They take it, and over here I have absolutely no idea what Stalk is thinking. He cannot move in against this. He can't do that. So this is a boss that is going to end up in the hands of Team Mozzarella. You cannot do anything against this, especially with Ace of Spades having a Shrink Ray. You're not going to be suicidal enough to move in against that. Level 13 talent, by the way, for Tyrande is also a Shrink Ray, so she didn't go into Hunter's Fury, which would have increased the attack speed against Hunter Mark talents. So for now we are seeing the boss pushing the bot lane again. The curse is going to potentially now drop a keep. It's a 5 versus 5 again, but we still have in the mid lane 2 heroes trying to defend the fort. Leoric is up at the top lane, pressuring this one and going to take it down. But this is going to be a pretty shitty trade if they go for it. Johanna down here already dead, and that makes things even worse. Now all of a sudden it's 5 versus 4, 10 kills against 1. The wall is wrecked before the boss even appears. He went through the fort at the bot lane. Leoric up at the top cannot do anything here. The question is, of course, what can he do at the bot lane? Well, he can try and help them out, but there is just no way this one is going to survive. And now we have 16 talents as well. There's the Ignite. Leoric is back, but they rush in. The Phoenix already doing so much damage here. Still a 5 versus 4. The boss going for the tower. The Maw hitting 2, and the March of the Black King is not saving him. Leoric dead, and they get the kill against Vala. There's a kill against Malfurion. Meteor Makers gets completely wrecked. They get destroyed in this first game. Outdrafted and now outplayed. This is the lead for Team Mozzarella in the best of 3 series here at the end of the Storm qualifier final. Team Mozzarella, they take the lead. They are one more map win away from qualifying for Enter the Storm 3. A tournament that is going to start next week, and there is 10,000 on the line in prize money and also another 8,000 in actually hardware prizes. So it's going to be an absolutely epic tournament. We're going to start with the group stage next week. There's going to be a lot of content here on the channel and of course also live streaming on Twitch. But well, only maybe we're going to see Mozzarella here. We don't know yet. And Battlefield of Eternity is the next map. And Meteor Makers is actually one of those teams that already showcased a couple of murky games on this map in particular that are also, of course, on the channel here. In this case, though, they played a bit more traditional. And again, they run a Tyrande. In this game, this Tyrande composition makes a lot more sense than what they drafted on map number 1. Suddenly, they have follow-ups done to really combo that often. We, of course, all know that with a Tyrande, usually you're trying to go into that sniper squad composition where you are trying to lock a target down with stun CC and then eliminate them. On the other hand, though, we're having on this map now Zagara together with Zebo again, and we have Tyrael together with Muradin for Team Mozzarella as the frontline. Mozzarella has to win one more map out of potentially 2 games to advance to play in Enter the Storm 3. And guys, we're going to find out together if they can make that happen here now on Battlefield of Eternity, my bad, or if they have to play a 3rd map. So let's jump into map number 2 without further ado. The second game, and we have Battlefield of Eternity as the map. In game number 1, Meteor Makers was getting wrecked by Mozzarella. The draft not working out in favor of Meteor Makers, and therefore they are down 1 game in the best of 3 series here at the final of the Enter the Storm qualifier, the last qualifier. And to the left side we have Rema Baller on Jaina, or Johanna actually, for Meteor Makers. Chris Plosion again on Tyrande, which this time fits much better into the setup that they have here, with Be Certified on Uther, Stalk on Anubarak, and Blade on Jaina. To the right side of the map, Team Mozzarella, they need to win the final here today if they want to qualify for the main event. They have a good shot. They only need to win 1 out of potentially 2 upcoming maps. Tazdingo on Zebo, Ace of Spades on Morpheus, T-Dark on Tyrael, Holo on Zagara, and Smexy Style is playing Muradin. The team's heading straight into the middle here, and we are seeing a potential kill early on against Muradin! Muradin is dead, but Be Certified is low and he dies, and there might be a few more victims. Actually, in this case, the ghost of Uther is helping out everybody and getting them back to health. So it's a trade. It's a 1-for-1 trade in experience, and the teams are now just rotating towards the lanes and are trying to actually kill Stalk here. Nice zoning, and he gets away. Pretty cool move here by him. So making sure that he gets with the burrow charge away, moves to the right side first, burrows beneath it, and then gets back to safety. So yeah, pretty sick start into the game already. Both of the teams super aggressive, and as mentioned before, the only chance for Team Mozzarella, a newly formed team of players that have been playing for various games for teams in the past, is to win this final. And they have started off with a victory on the first map, so they need to either win it here now on the map, on Battlefield of Eternity, or in the 3rd game then. But of course they would be much more comfortable with taking this one now. But let's find out how Meteor Makers is going to play. They themselves are already qualified for the next round, and we're going to see the 16 best teams in Europe go up against each other. But of course there's also prize money on the line for the qualifier here today, and that's why they are trying their best to take this final. They're going straight in with a kill against Nazebo, and that was a very easy pick here. Just a bit too far out, and with those stuns and the setup, there was just very little that the Tazdingo could do. So he got bursted down within seconds. He's of course going to be back to business in just a heartbeat, but still, both of the Immortals are now on the map, and that allows both of the teams to go straight for these kills. Zagara on this map is an absolute godsend hero, because she gets so much vision on the map that you always know what's going on. But right now, vision is only half the battle, because they might know that there's already an attack at the bot lane Immortal, but they can't really do too much about it. Up here now they are trying to put some pressure onto the blue team's Immortal, and already Blade eating that stun here. Good jump on the side of Smexy Style, making sure that he's not getting locked down by that Condemn. But we have a stun against Zagara, and the punish is coming into play now too from Stalk's Johanna, Rema Baller's Johanna actually. But yeah, they can't do too much. Bot lane, that's where T-Darker is getting additional experience for his team. They do not have level 4 yet, so they need to make sure that that drops. And there it is. We have a healing ward on Tyrande. That is an interesting touch. Healing wards can be kind of nice if you make sure that your opponent is not getting close to them. But in general, they are much weaker now than they were in the past. we have a bit of a lead when it comes to the pressure against the Immortals on the side of Mozzarella, but a good stun comp against Zagara. No follow-up damage though. Tazdingo was moving in with a wall of zombies, and we had Smexy Star there with a Thunderclap and a potential Stormbolt too. So they get away for now. The Immortals already shifting positions. And yeah, it's going to be quite easy for the teams to defend here. It's 2 kills versus 1 overall. But at the bot lane, Stork and Tidaka, 2 of the tanks, are just facing each other. Stormbolt built, by the way, for Muradin. Not going for any Thunderclap talents here. The builds in general is just pretty much the norm, maybe with the exception of Muradin here. And also, of course, that earlier mentioned healing ward that we see for Tyrande over a protective shield that could have been the level 4 talent for her. We have an attempt by Meteor Makers to get some damage in over here, but it's really tricky positions for the team to get away and to like go for the opponent's Immortal, and therefore we have a bit of a trick here for Team Mozzarella. They are trying to take the camp, and they are very close here. Over there, they need to make sure... Yes, Muradin is jumping away again. The camp is going to be taken in a second, but now they need to defend their Immortal. The longer they drag this out, the better it's going to be for them. The healing ward in a really good position here. So Crisplosion doing a decent job with that, but Tidaka can simply take it out with a simple smite, and that's what he does right away. So now that the camp up at the top lane has to be taken down, that is a chance now for Team Mozzarella to put some pressure onto this Immortal. So it's basically a really tricky situation that Meteor Makers finds themselves in now. The time that was invested by Mozzarella earlier to take the camp is now time that they have to invest to take the camp off up at the top lane, or it's going to just simply push down the wall. This Shaman is just summoning those Fellhounds over and over again, and they need to leave Jaina there. They can soak the experience, and they have a Nubarak at the bot lane. They will have a much faster level 7, but this Immortal is gonna fall. And the first Immortal, the first objective, will end up in the hands of Team Mozzarella. Immortal jumps into the mid lane right away, but now level 7 is nearly ready for the opponent, for Meteor Makers. And with that, they will have a slight lead, but only, of course, for a few seconds, because Maxistyle is already there trying to get the last few experience points that they need to get the additional level and the talent. And at the bot lane, the team is starting to push in, well, only with 1 or 2 heroes. The rest is already rotating up to the top. Level 7 is now there, and both of the teams, Stormbolt build completed, Git bin used. Tyrael, does he still have a Druid Smite? He has a Smite and he can get away here. A tower has been dropped at the bot lane. The Immortal is doing a bit of damage to the gate now too. But at the top, Johanna was eliminated. This is where we have the quad push for Mozzarella. They will go through the wall here. They get the kill against Johanna, and they also take the 2 towers now. At least they take 1. Are they going to take the second one as well? Yes, they do. So 2 towers down, a bit of a lead in experience that we see, and of course pressure against the fort already, thanks to the wall being dropped, and that means that the camps that are being taken later will also have an easier time attacking the fort directly. But for now, the teams are still quite even. There is a lead, there is definitely a lead for Mozzarella, but it's not big enough just yet to snowball or give them a huge edge in the game. Smexy Style has seen that the Khaldor camp is taken, but there's nothing that you can really do to prevent it. We have everybody else rotating down to the bot lane, and of course Mozzarella is also trying to get the mercenary camps on the map, and Tazdingo is completing that task here. With Khaldor needing mana, desperate need for mana here for him. Tazdingo is the only one who's pushing the bot lane here, and they took another tower down. So they will hit level 9 a bit faster. The rotation is underway. Up here to the top, Smexy Style is trying to help the rest of this team out. Where's that Stormbolt? They're going for they're going for Jaina, and they get a Stormbolt in, but the Condemn of Bremer Baller saving her for now. So Johanna and Jaina, the dream team here, at least for now, making sure that nobody dies. Meteor Makers with a very nice rotation and pretty good move. The bot lane is still being pushed, and Tazdingo is making it very difficult for Stork to do anything about it. The 2 former teammates now in a one-on-one fight, and so far Tazdingo is winning. And the Immortals are spawning in 12 seconds, and it looks very much like we're going to see a faster level 10 for Mozzarella. And if they get that, they might get the second Immortal as well, or at least get a lead when it comes to the Immortal fight per se. We have Tazdingo at the bot lane with a potential drop against tower number 2 in the wall, and that is enough experience to hit level 10. And yep, there it is. The 10 is there, but now he's getting ganked. Oh, nice moves. The stun hits though. He's gonna die eventually, but he's just buying time. He moves away, puts as much pressure in as he can, even using the Gargantuan, but now it's level 10 versus level 10. But we still see Mozzarella with a much better position here now at the Immortal. They already moved in, and as you can tell, they dropped this one already to half health, so they are going to switch positions soon. 8 seconds until Tazdingo is back with Nazebo. the heroic abilities, in this case with the Sanctification taken on the side of Tyrell, and also Blessed Shield, Web Blast, Water Elemental. Crisplosion is very much alone here, but they're going for Malfurion, and I have no idea what Ace was thinking, but he is very far off, so Ace is dead, and they are going to get a kill again. Yeah, well, pretty easy one actually against T-Darka with all the lockdown. Or, no, they will. Not 100% certain what these two were thinking. There must have been some miscommunication, because that move didn't make any sense whatsoever. You have already your creep tumors there, and you should know what's coming. Instead of waiting for Nazebo and just like using all of the strengths together, they just moved in like that, and now they are starting to fall behind. 5 kills against 2. So Mozzarella is moving in again, helping out their own Immortal, and that should be quite easy. Nice move by Tazdingo, actually locking down an Uberak, but he has his cooldown still ready and can move back. Gary is still active, and he is pushing them back for now, so it's the focus against the opponent's Immortal again. And with a lot of the mana low for heroes like Crisplosion and Be Certified, there's no chance for Meteor Makers to defend their Immortal. Only Rema Baller and Blade are trying to help out here. It is going to be objective number 2 in favor of Mozzarella. So they are going for the top lane now in this case. And yeah, it ain't cheesy, it ain't easy being cheesy going up to the top, but they're trying. So they have now with Sanctification a chance maybe later on to really also deny a bit of the damage here. Because, I mean, let's be certain, let's be honest about it. That Jaina is pretty sick. So much damage on her. By the way, this bad boy is already doing a lot of work as well. And down here to the bot lane, of course, with another quad push. You always just go with 4 heroes on the other lane. The other lane. Not the lane that the Immortal is pushing, but you go on to lane number 2. And this is completely dropped, and that Immortal was already doing so much damage here up in the top lane that this fort is also on half health. So the experience lead again for Team Mozzarella. But for how long? That's the question. They're starting to go here for the camp. Testingo is starting to rotate away though. Crisplosion is actually pausing the game, but you can really tell that Testingo doesn't really know what's going on over there to the left side. He doesn't really know what's happening with this. Crisplosion is now asking about a camp that is bugged. I'm not quite sure what he means with that, because over here it still looks all good. Top camp seems to be in a bit of trouble, and yeah, that actually looks like we are not seeing a top camp coming in, so this one is bugged out. I'm not quite sure if that's a map bug, but that's that's actually like interesting. Is it only a map bug or is it gone? Maybe they can just like move in and check that out, but that's a new one. Haven't seen that before. So to the bot lane, that camp is definitely still in position, and we are seeing currently Team Mozzarella take this one. So yep, the camp got DDoSed apparently. I mean, they can check it out. Maybe it's just like a mini map bug and the camp is still there. I guess Blade and Crisplosion are going to check that out, but so far it looks, at least on the minimap, as if it's available. So maybe, nope. Okay, they see there was an owl, so there's nothing over there, so the camp definitely bugged out. Blizzard, I hope you're watching, because your map is a bit buggy. The fight in the mid lane, on the other hand, Water Elemental there, more against Jaina. Jaina isolated and Be Certified. Ooh, he should go there. He should definitely not be there, and he is attacked, and he is not going to survive this battle. Way too far out. And I'm not quite sure why he moved in this deep, probably for a stun. But yeah, that did not work out well for him. So it is a great kill with a perfect timing here, actually, for Team Mozzarella. They move back with Ace of Spades now. The top lane, that's where we're having 3 heroes rotate over. Maybe trying to put some pressure on this fort and push this one back. But, well, for now, it's both of the teams still aiming for level 13. And with the next Immortals coming up in a bit, then, of course, they can use that extra talent. I don't think that's going to be a massive lead for one of the teams trying to use a timing window, not with both of them being so close to the next level. But, yeah. Having Rema Baller now starting to move in again. 13 talents are ready for both of the teams. And currently we're seeing ice blocks everywhere. Ice, baby. Ice block on Nazebo, on Malfurion, a double Storm Shield. Sorry, Storm Shield, that would be nice at level 13. Of course, a Spell Shield. But yeah, in this case, it's very tricky, because this denies a lot of the damage that Jaina could potentially dish out. So that could give Team Mozzarella exactly what they need. The camps are ready, and both of them went for the Bruiser camp first, and therefore it's now also, of course, the Shaman there. You could really tell how Smexy Style's build going into the Sledgehammer on level 4 and Perfect Storm on level 1 with a Piercing Bolt on 7 is doing a lot of damage now against these mercenary camps, and that is amazing for them to just push those down super fast. They're going into the fight again. There was a lot of burning rage on the side of Team Meteor Makers. The defense over here already pushing Meteor Makers back. 5 kills against 3, by the way. So still very, very close. Tezdingo and Holo over here with the damage dealers are trying to put damage onto the Immortal of the blue team. But it looks like Meteor Makers, they want to engage here. Uh-oh, a bit of a late jump here on for Smexy Style. The stun not hitting. Tyrande missing this one. And he jumps out for now. They're trying to turn around again. The Starfall, of course, not really helping. But we have a Maw against Johanna, isolating her for now. The healing ward has already been cancelled out, and they are chasing everybody away. Mozzarella in a decent position again, but the... Oh, Smexy Style a bit too far out here maybe, but yeah, he's still fine. He's still alright. He has, of course, on 16 in his stone form, but that comes in later. For now, on level 13, he still has to rely on his spell shield and the other talents. Titaka jumping away, getting stunned once, twice. Oh, and Titaka! They blew everything on him here. Everything used on him, including the blessed shield. So he gets taken out. He was too far out. He was trying to zone for the rest of the team, but that backfired real quickly when Meteor Makers was willing to commit everything they had to the kill. So now they cannot contest again. They will try to just poke a bit, but that is a very annoying spot now for Team Mozzarella to be in. So this might be the first Immortal that we are seeing in favor of Meteor Makers, and they are looking strong here. The bot lane camp already taken, because at this point basically they conceded that they would not be able to get the Immortal, so they are just saying, hey, let's get a camp instead, and at least that's going to help us a bit. The Immortal is going to move down to the bot lane, and we'll have to try and push that one down. And this is 5 versus 5 time. You really need to start and move over there and defend with everything you got, because Meteor Makers, they are sensing weakness. They sense at this point blood in the water, like sharks. They're circling their prey, and they are going for the wall here. So already both of the towers about to be dropped. Again, the blessed shield used for the initiation, and they go for Smexy Style, and they get the kill. The Maw is too late. Doesn't help anymore. Sanctification not available since Tyrael was not with the team yet. And here comes another quick web blast. Holo is about to drop, and this is just a snowball move now. At this point, this is looking really good for Meteor Makers. That death of Titaka up at the mid lane for in the Immortal fight just completely wrecked them. They lost the Immortal, they were in a 4 versus 5, and in this situation, Meteor Makers just said, yeah, we got this right now. We move in, we go for the kill, and they took not only the fort, they take the wall at the keep, they can potentially drop the keep now as well. And what looked like a really solid situation here in game number 2 for Team Mozzarella is suddenly turning around with another kill against Titaka. They get picked off one after another. No matter how far, how deep they stand, they get taken down. This keep is going to fall, and this is just Meteor Makers exploiting that advantage that they had for a second there. So yep, that Tyrael death definitely a big problem. It initiated everything, the entire chain here. But now Smexy Style is trying to lock somebody down. He goes for Nuburak. There is still the healing ward, and with a 5 versus 4, even being low in mana and hit points, Meteor Makers is able to force them back. They have their 16 talents. That means, of course, for them, we have Numbing Blast, we have Blood for Blood, Benediction, True Shot Aura, and Blessed Hammer for even more damage. But can Mozzarella come back from this? Can Mozzarella come back from this? Meteor Makers is, in this case, just way too far ahead. The camp is back, by the way. The Khazra, they got lost. They found a few Vikings and they told them where to go. But the Khazra are finally back. They made a bit of a detour. They went to Tristram first. They had to take one of the heroes down over there. But right now, they are back to business and they are claimed. But over here, another attack. They go straight in for Zagara. Zagara, devour the Blessed Shield, and Web Blast. Zagara down, and this is going to be even more kills. There is Muradin, and currently this is just the reckoning. I mean, this is painful to watch at this point. Game number 1 was already pretty tricky, but it was exactly for the opponent's team that dominated the match here. In this case, though, it's very much the opposite, because right now, Meteor Makers, is just super, super strong with this. 16 versus 16, the talent is finally there. The Immortals are spawning another 5 seconds, and as you can already tell, there's another 15 for Muradin and Zagara to be back. So at the beginning, the Immortals are going to be suffering, or the red team's Immortal is going to suffer a lot of damage from Meteor Makers moving in, and they're doing exactly that now. So they can try and poke a bit, but once that they commit again, and they have Weaponize ready, another 10 seconds, and Blessed Shield in 2, they might get another kill, and then it's that downward spiral where you always fight with a disadvantage. They poke from a distance, Zagara is back, but the Immortal is already at half health. Right now, they need to win a team fight. This is the only chance that they have. The only chance that Mozzarella has. They need to win a team fight, and they need to win it fast. Right now to the left we have the Bruiser camp taken again. It looks like they are trying to commit to this one. Are they gonna jump in? Tidaka? Nope, they are not. They are trying to poke a little bit. They're defending their own Immortal. That's the only thing that they do. They know that they have to win the fight, and they have Smexy style in the middle with a stun against... Oh, he's getting... Holy crap. He gets stunned and blown to pieces. Doesn't even stand a chance there. Hunter's Mark, like, he gets melted away. And that's a 5 versus 4. And not even with the help of the Immortal is Mozzarella going to be able to take this. Or is Stork going to die here? No, he's not. And now they are going straight for Terriel, and both of the tanks are now out. The tanks are both gone. A bit of damage, actually a lot of damage. A great maul here, but do they have a follow-up? There is, well, there's the Divine Shield saving Jaina. Nobody dying. Maybe with a follow-up they could have dropped 2 or 3 and then turn it around, but as is, this is just not going to work out for them. They are in a 5 versus 3 situation. Look how low they are. It is incredible. Like, all of these heroes could have died there. I'm not sure if Malfurion was actually in cooldown on his roots, but I don't think he used them. So they couldn't kill anything. They're trying to go now for the Immortal damage, and actually they get quite a lot of that in. The problem is they won't be able to take it down. This is just like, this is damage reduction, kind of making sure that they are not going up against an Immortal with a full shield. Damage control is all that they can do for now. And, well, this Immortal alone is going to be a monster to deal with. 18 minutes in, that top lane, well, kiss your fort goodbye. You will have to defend at the key, because that fort is the least of your worries right now. It's gonna drop either way. 2 levels behind, 19 versus 17. This is, yeah, this is super, super dangerous for them right now. Like a hot knife through cheese, we're seeing Team Meteor Makers going up against Mozzarella now. And, well, Mozzarella jumping away. Well, we have them with an attempt to take down Uther, and be certified was way too far out there, but they cannot get the final few damage points in to take him down. That might have been a good start. Taking the healer out is always a good start. But at this point, it looks very much like this keep is going to fall as well. Already the jump back that came. There comes the web blast. They're moving in again. The Immortal is at the front, and Nuborak is dead. Is that maybe the turnaround? Can they do it? Level 20 talents already now. It gives a massive advantage to Meteor Makers. Level 20 talent. Smexy style is low. The more is good, but the keep is falling. And the more, there is no follow-up for them. They have nothing that they can add to this. They keep so... What the hell? 13 hit points on the keep. Strongest keep in history confirmed. Blade, Rema Baller, Crisplosion, they're all running. Smexy style, he doesn't have the mana. And there's the Blessed Shield to cover their retreat. They mount up and get away. So now it's level 20 versus level 18. And, well, one of the keeps is dead, and another one... I don't even know what to say about this one. If an ant walks up to the keep and farts at it, it will die. It's definitely gonna fall. And the only thing that they have to do is move over with any hero that they can, like, it doesn't matter which hero, and just simply hit it once. One shot is all that it needs. And taking the Khaldor camp, of course, is gonna help there too. These lazy bad boys have been finally found their way back to Battlefield of Eternity. Ace of Spades, Taz Dingo, and Smexy style are starting to rotate over at this lane in particular right now. They're of course going to try and defend the keep for as long as they possibly can. But it's still level 20 versus 18, and let's just say what you're going to do, because I don't know. There's a double Storm Shield now, and a Hardened Shield. How are you going to drop these heroes? How are you going to make that happen? I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, there's no Kelthas that can snowball at this point, and the keep is gone. There comes that zip snipe by Tyrande. And now we have Tidaka and his boys starting to move over and trying to take a kill, but it's just not going to work out for them. With 14 seconds left, looks like this is going to be a bit of a trap that Rema, Baller and Stalker are setting up. That could actually work. But they just have to wait for the Immortal to spawn either way, and once that he's there, they can also move in and just drop it. Another Immortal, like there's no way that a Immortal with a good shield is going to be survived by Mozzarella. They move in against Tyrael, and it's way too much. It's just way too much damage. With that Hunter's Mark and that lockdown, it is so much damage they cannot deal with it. Now the Immortal up here is going to be attacked. We are seeing Team Mozzarella with an attempt to do the same thing, but already be certified with a stun. And the Web Blast. Well, that Web Blast wasn't really needed, but I guess at the end of the day it doesn't really matter too much. Muradin is going to fall, or at least... Oh, it's Zagara even. Yeah, of course, Zagara is even going to fall faster. Muradin isn't even there. So Zagara is dead. That's 16 kills against 4 now. And up here to the top, we are seeing Be Certified and the rest of them moving in and take that on. So, yep, there we go. Dropping the Immortal to half health. Now it's going to change position here in the mid lane. And still no level 20 available to Team Mozzarella. Team Mozzarella, this should be game. I mean, Mozzarella is going to try and make something happen here. But we already have Crisplosion and Stalk just defending their own Immortal. They only need 2 heroes here. They have 3 over to the left side where they're putting in the last few damage points. They're still on level 20. They're half a level away from level 20. So there is just nothing that they can really do. This is going to be an Immortal with half a shield. Or that's just going to be too much. That's just going to be way too much. They won't be able to handle this, and nor should they. They just lost every single team fight after this original battle, but Tyrael was a bit too far out. And now another Web Blast is isolating a hero, so they can just stun it out again, and it is just brutal. Here comes the stun comb. Tyrael tries to jump away, got cleansed, but here's nice block even, and well, Tidaka might actually survive this. Nope. He uses Sanctification in the last second, tries to help with the retreat of the rest of the team, but this is the kill against them. This Immortal is moving in up to the top. Level 20, finally ready for them, but this is, as you can see, 17 kills against 4. And with all the catapults moving in, with the Immortal also making its way over now to the core, this is going to be it. Zagara went even into Fury of the Storm now, because it's all about the defense. She doesn't even need a blink, she needs damage. They need to somehow make this work, and there is even a lockdown against Muradin. Muradin is going to, well, they actually ignore him. He's not even going to die, because they're saying like, yeah, what are you going to do? The Immortal and the rest of the team, they're just dropping the core. This is a 1-1 in the best of 3 series, yet the final. We're going to see the final map. The final map in the Enter the Storm qualifier here. Pretty sick, actually, and great game played here by Meteor Maker. So let's jump into game number 3. That's not as easy as they thought it would be. Mozzarella suddenly is tied with Meteor Makers, and they are going into game number 3. So all of a sudden it comes down to a single map, and this map is Sky Temple. And again we have for Meteor Makers a pretty sick combo when it comes to the front line. Leoric together with Johanna, and we know that's pretty good. That's actually like really good. The front line on the side of Team Mozzarella is looking pretty strong too, though. We have an Anubarak together with the Muradin here. But when it comes to the damage, then I have to give maybe even a bit of an advantage to Team Meteor Makers, because they are running this with a Kel'Thas for the late game and also an Azebo. 2 very strong mage heroes that they can use now. And well, Sky Temple is of course a map where it comes all down to those fights on the temples. In this case, Zagara is going to help Team Mozzarella a bit with those battles, and also they are running a Vala here. So boys, let's go into game number 3 and find out together which team takes the final, which team wins the best of 3, and is Mozzarella able to enter the Storm 3, or will they be destroyed here by Meteor Makers and therefore fall short of qualifying for the main event. It's not the final countdown. Well, it actually is to a certain extent, but it's definitely the final map. That's what I wanted to basically get at. So we have the final map in the best of 3 series. It is Sky Temple, and we're seeing Mozzarella going up against Meteor Makers, and this is the map that Mozzarella has to win. If they lose here, then they are out of the Enter the Storm. They will not participate in the main event, and let's face it, they got wrecked in game number 2. The series is tied. It's a 1-on-1, and we currently say to the left side, Team Meteor Makers with Remaballer on Leoric, Be Certified on Azebo, Stalk on Johanna, Crisplosion with Rhaegar, and Blade playing Kel'Thas. To the right side of the map, Mozzarella with Tasdingo on Vala, Smexy Style on Muradin. We have Holo currently on Zagara, Uther played by Ace of Spades, and Anubarak by Tidaka. Anubarak actually, or Tidaka in the last game, was one of the reasons why they kind of lost there. That one death that he had on his Tyrael, unfortunately slowballed against them, and then they lost the match. But for now we're having, in terms of builds, a few changes. As you can see here, it's apparently a 4-man rotation that we are going to experience on the side of Mozzarella. They're using a couple of talents that are based on the globes. Bot lane, by the way, that's where we're seeing a big push against Zagara, and Holo is down. Holo taken out, and well, therefore the rotation Ace of Spades has to take over, and Zagara is already losing quite a lot of valuable time, where she usually is pushing back the lanes. So Remabola is taking position at the bot lane here. The shrines are going to be announced very soon. We have a Conjurer's Pursuit on Uther and a Regeneration Master talent for Nubarak, which is not being played by Stork, but actually in this case by Tidaka. And to the top lane here with also a healing totem on Rega. We have Crisplosion moving into the middle right now. And here are the two temples. So Crisplosion and Smexy Style going up against each other. Be certified. They're all rotating over to the Watchtower. And that could be another kill against Muradin. Mozzarella has to be careful. To be, well, pardon my French, but they have to get their shit together now. If they don't, then they are out of this tournament, out of the qualifier. Then they will take second place, and that's just not enough. They need the 32 points for the standings that you get when you win a tournament here. When you actually win one of those qualifiers. It would also drop the prize money into their hands, which would be pretty nice too. In this case for a qualifier that's $200, but well, that's still pretty solid. This is of course not the most, but well, we have 9 qualifiers, so that's actually for the qualifiers altogether still 1,800, which is quite a bit. Good kill here on the side of them, so that's more like it if they really want to take it there. Meteor Makers, on the other hand, they are qualified, but they want to have a better standing in the qualifiers. They want to make sure that they have the better seeding going into the tournament, and they also want to be guaranteed that they have an opportunity to take that prize money. Be Certified himself is now in a lot of trouble, and that's just too much. He was dodging one of the stuns, but he is not going to dodge this one. The Zebo down, and that is a second kill now. So far so good, at least for Mozzarella, but in the mid lane, can they get the last few shots? No, it looks like they cannot. Tasdingo and his Vala is dancing around the opponent's team, and now Muradin is moving in to help out. They get a few extra shots, and with that they are now able to push their opponent back. Are we going to see a mule? That's the main question. A Zebo could go for it. Gitbin on level 7 is a strong talent though, so does he really want to give that up? We're having the potential for mule only on the side of the blue team though. The red team doesn't have a hero that has a mule access on level 7. In the mid lane we're seeing still Smexy Style and Ace of Spades, both of the teams now on level 6. We already see Heart and Bones taken for Leoric. And with Leoric taking Heart and Bones, he is most likely going to show us his Lingering Apparition from level 7 onwards. Boundless Conviction taken for Uther, so that's going to help also a bit. We're seeing still Ace of Spades and Smexy Style rotating over to take the Siege Giant Camp, but they are just a tiny little second too late. Down here, already the move back by Remabola. Holo is starting to really get some momentum here at the bot lane, so he's doing quite well. They have the level 7 talent faster, and that allows them to go into the repeating arrow. We have them again with one, maybe even a second. Nope, in this case it's only one battle momentum. It's a rapid incubation for Holo. And we are having no mule. It is Gitbin. No mule taken. More about the fights than anything else right now. Already a bit of damage against Crisplosion. Stork locked down. They're trying to body block him, and they get a second stun in. They get another one, and this is Johanna again dying to that lockdown. Very well played here. And so far, so good for them. 3 kills against 1. A lot of pressure. Rotations to the top. Well done here so far. And, well, at this point, Tidaka is just making sure that they are in a position where they can actually soak experience also up at the top lane. The one thing that you have to keep in mind is that, of course, the main tournament that we've been talking about for so long will start next week. The top 16 teams in Europe are going to be playing there, and there's a prize money of $10,000 on the line. $10,000 prize money, and that's only the cash prize. There's another $8,000 in hardware, so this is what all these teams have been fighting for the entire time through the qualifier tournaments, trying to secure themselves a spot in this main event, which is actually for an online tournament, disregarding the Blizzard tournaments. the most prize money that you can win in an online competition in Heroes of the Storm at the moment. Crystplosion and Be Certified at the top lane are trying to push this lane in, but there comes also the entire setup of Team Mozzarella. They go in with a stun against the Zebo once, twice, and goodbye Zebo. They take him down, they secure themselves the lead, but at the bot lane it's only Holo. The temple is there, Holo's trying to rush away, is dodging as much as he can, but finally that gravity lapse is sent out by Blade and he gets killed. Great play by Blade, by the way. Not rushing that gravity lapse out, just holding it back a bit until Khaldor was sure that he could get the kill, and Zagara was trying to juke it several times, but she was already very low because of it, since she ate extra damage from Leoric. The bot lane though, that shrine is still being fought over, and here's the level 10 now. Smexy Style is trying to move in for it. Strafe used by Tastingo on his Vala, but both of the teams are now on level 10, so it's not only Mozzarella. We have a Morn and Divine Shield. The Divine Shield into Strafe can be quite strong. And they're going for Stork again. Stork dying once more. That's the third time that he's taken out. And now they can go for the temple, and they will be able to get a fair amount of shots. And they're also trying to make sure that Leoric is at least getting damaged here, but that apparition is moving away. He did not go for Lingering Apparition, by the way, on level 7, but instead used the Renewal now. Tidaka moving away. We have, in this case, also March of the Black King, Gary the Gigantian, the Phoenix taken, and both of the teams still very close in experience. This is a close one. This is a very close one. The teams have shown great play so far on map number 1 and map number 2. Both of them were pretty nasty for one team. I mean, in the first one, the Reckoning against Meteor Makers. In the second one, it was Mozzarella that didn't really stand a chance after it started to snowball. But right now, this is pretty even thus far. And rotations are everything here. Vala is at the top lane and is starting to push this in. And there's a pretty good chance that she's going to be able to take down the fort here. We're having to the bot lane now, a position where Stork is starting to move over. Blade as well. They're trying to push the middle. I don't think they can really go for the fort, especially with now Mozzarella starting to take position here. But at the top, it's that fight between Be Certified and Tasdingo. And I'm liking Vala's chances here. Already waiting to dish out some damage with that arrow. At the bot lane, Holo in position, pushing Rema Baller back. This one camp that they already took is going to help them with the pushing power. And Ace of Spades also. Like, all of them are rotating. You can really tell. It's it's pretty tricky for them. They know there are traps. They just don't know where. So they're all rotating on the map, trying to soak experience, trying to get a good gank against somebody. We have Locust Swarm for Nuburak, not going into the Web Blast here for this game now, so it's extra sustain. That Locust Swarm, or that Web Blast in the last game, was actually a very huge asset that we saw on the side of Team Meteor Makers. But now we have Tasdingo up at the top lane. Smexy Style is going to help him out here. They control the watchtower, so at least they have a bit more vision than their opponents. The dance between Zagara and Leoric at the bot lane is continuing. And we are seeing in the mid lane maybe a bit of pressure against Meteor Makers, since Tidaka, Ace of Spades and Smexy Style are taking position here and could potentially break through that gate at least to get a bit more vision of what exactly is going to happen behind it. But they are starting to move over to get a potential kill against Khaldor or Nazebo. And they go deep for it. They move really deep, and there is the strafe. They take one kill. They are going to take both. Be Certified, he is not going to live through this. Or is he? The healing! Wow! Crystplosion coming in from below and getting this last second rescue in. Oh, wow. Like, he has to buy him a beer. That's already certain. We have two temples up, one at the top, one at the bot lane. Both of the teams now level 13. A triple spell shield has been used on the side of Team Mozzarella, since they want to make sure that Khaldor is not going to wreck them in the late game. We have a double Burning Rage again for the front line of Meteor Makers. They really love to do that. Crystplosion eating so much damage here, but Ace doesn't get close enough for an additional stun. Flamethrower has been used, and now the teams are just going for the structures again. Over here, it's a 3 versus 3 in the mid lane. Blade and Crystplosion, they get stunned. Be Certified is moving in. Divine Shield already used, and yes, the buck is on the way back too. The Beetle escapes, and Zagara has been pushing the bot lane in the meantime. Not taking too many shots yet. We have Muradin claiming the complete temple to the top lane, and that will put additional pressure on this bottom lane. But the well is still there, and wells are always very important for a team to really have the sustain on lane so that they can move back after a fight. Just simply regenerate a few hit points and mana and then go back into the battle without having to go all the way back to their main base. So the teams, once again, with a loss on a fort, this time in the mid lane, but it's still a slightly inexperienced. It's 6 kills against 2. This is the last map. One mistake, a kill at some point, can already win or lose you the game. If you lose a hero, if somebody suicides, is out of position and he gets sniped, then it might all be over. It can snowball on a map like this. At the bad time, you might lose those shrines or those temples because of it. Down here, the well, taking that is going to be a priority. But Remaballer is moving in up from the top. Holo and Testingo, they need to get in position, but the Leoric apparition is moving away. So for now, at least, they are all together. They are in a decent spot. They're putting the pressure in, but it is Nazebo at the top lane with extra experience now for Team Meteor Makers. It's level 16 in just a second for the opponent, though, for Mozzarella. Are they going to try and force maybe a fight with it? It's a rotation to the top lane. They have to deal with this eventually. So they decide to do that early on. Level 16 talents are strong for them. Stone Form is amazing, and also the double Hunter Killer for Zagara is great. And just think about this for a second. They didn't go into Mutalisk, but they decided to go double Hunter Killer. So they really respect Khaldor enough to say, we also need that spell shield on Zagara. We need it. We can't go into that Hunter Killer talent, into Mutalisk, for example. We can't do that. We need to keep her alive, and I think that's a very smart move here, because Khaldor is going to be a beast to deal with in the late game, and everything hinges on this game. So now we have also the 16s for their opponents. Oh, Muradin needs to be careful. Consume Vitality. Here comes Ignite now for Khaldor, and we see the tidal waves. Blade is pausing the game. They might be in a bit of trouble here. Holo is down there. We have up to the mid lane. Tazdingo very much alone. Stalk's mouse broke. Well, I hope that he has a second one in 2 pieces. Okay, I'm not quite sure what he's doing with his mouse, but yeah, that is interesting. And well, up to the top lane, as you can see, this wall is still completely standing. If you compare structures, then it is a positional advantage for Mozzarella. They have a positional advantage, but we have down here now that fort is nearly dead. I mean, it's on roughly 30%, 25%, something like that. The team's of course trash talking here a bit, and well, let's let them while Stork is switching his mouse. Stork over here, if you look at the position, they're just trying to wrap around and move to the bot lane. And they're currently also, they have to depush this one because it's going to drop the fort for sure. The teams are both on level 16. There's no real need to fight. But the one thing that they have to make sure of, at least in this case, what Team Mozzarella has to make sure of, is that they don't engage into a battle. Holo is going to eat some damage from that Flame Strike, but he still has the spell shield up, so that should be okay. They need to wait for Vala until they can really take a battle and then move down. The next shrines are also going to be announced, and well, up here, nothing happened right there. Oh, well, that was a tactical unpause. Not quite sure what happened there. Okay. So, that was interesting. Yeah, okay, so his own mates aren't there either. That puts... Well, I guess Stork didn't really do anything. He's still standing there. Zagara got away. That spell shield got activated. But yeah, that was a bit unexpected. Looking at the damage to give you a bit of an idea of what exactly is happening with this one. We have currently on the side of Leoric 7,800 damage. Down here, we are currently seeing 12,000 for Khaldor. We all know how that's going to develop in the next few seconds or next few minutes. Yeah, this is going to be pretty crazy. Over here to the side of Team Mozzarella, it's 20,000 for Zagara and 17,000 for Vala. Vala, with that build that we are seeing, is going to be pretty crucial for those team fights on the temples then later. And this is one of the maps that is oftentimes decided by a team either going for the boss and trying to claim this one, or it's just getting the objectives in and using the temples to really push in against that. So right now, with that happening, it looks like are we going to be back? We're certain here. The builds, we have a double blood for blood, by the way. So sustain for Enuburak. Enuburak, by the way, is the only one who did not go into a spell shield. I guess the idea really here is that with the regeneration master that he took on level 1, he feels like he has enough to heal out all of that damage, or a lot of the damage that is being dished out by Ignite over time, and also that he has the Locust Swarm, so that he can dish out some additional damage in those fights. Looking at his stacks, by the way, we are seeing him at 22, so that's an extra health regeneration of 33%, per second. We're currently seeing him on this at 11 minutes into the game. Looking at Blade, he has no gathering power stacks. 0 stacks for him. That's extremely important right now, of course, because with him having 0 gathering power stacks, he's going to be in a position where it's going to be, I want to say, like, the damage is still manageable. Once he has 5 stacks, it's a different beast. 106 Death Ritual stacks that we are seeing here, and that means that we have an extra health pool of 500 hit points and a mana pool of 318. I actually don't really want to know what exactly Ace is doing here. Like, seems like everybody is ready again. At least I hope that Stalk is ready, because so far, has he said anything? I don't think so. But I think his mouse is ready. So either he repaired it, or he just simply switched it out. So let's see if Stalk is ready or not. The rest seems to be there. Okay, yeah. Looks like we're good to go. Over here, nothing should happen here. They should just disengage now. That's the only thing that I can really see happening here, because who's going to initiate? Who's going to be the one? Nobody. Alright, so they're just moving back for now. Muradin is dancing around Stalk here for a second, but yeah, there's nothing happening, and they wait for Vala, and now Vala is in, and now they go for the fort. Now they're going to try and take that fort down, and they have some poke that they can use with Zagara in particular. So, yeah, the rotation. There's Leoric still up at top. They're trying to chase him maybe a bit. Stalk is moving in. They're all just once more mounting up. Ace is a bit out. Well, Ace should really make sure that he gets into a better position for this one. The temple at the bot lane. A single temple and therefore focus point. And this could make or break the game. Which team is going to claim them? The temple at the bot lane, the only one. Who's going to win that fight? Damage already in. It's all about poking right now. Strafe already used. There's no stun against it. Finally being cancelled out. There comes Stalk. He used the Blessed Shield for this one. But he gets healed with an Ancestral Healing. And Nubarak eating a lot of damage. But he's alive, at least for now. They go for Leoric and they get him. They get Leoric. T-Darker moves away. He's relying on his Regeneration Master now. Leoric is, of course, not going to be down for long. Can they maybe do more? Can they take another one? It doesn't look like it, so they go for the temple. They try to take the first few shots. They try to get a bit of a lead. They also take down now that fort, but Leoric is back. Leoric is back, and everybody else is super low. And it's one of the strengths, of course, of Leoric. They're going in with the Maw against Nazeebo. The Maw against Nazeebo. Can they do anything here? Nope, they need to move away, and Holo is already trapped. Holo is trapped. The Divine Shield keeps him alive, but Smexy's style is so low. He's so low. He's trying to go for a stun, but gets healed and can jump away now. They have to move away, and that means they are going to lose the temple down at the bot lane. The poke of Kel'Thas and Nazeebo is too strong. They didn't get a good setup, not a good enough setup at least, with the Maw, so they rotate away for now. But they go back in. They want to go back in, and Ace is leading the charge. He's starting to rush in for this one. They are positioning themselves. There are a few shots left, and they force Remaballer to abandon that temple. The stun is there. He has taken a lot of damage thanks to Tez Dingo. And the last few shots are now being claimed by Team Mozzarella. Taking down a tower over here at the wall, and also going straight for the gate. The rotation to steal the siege tank. And guys, this is so close. Both of them are on level 18. 7 kills against 2. They go in again with a ton of damage against Leoric. It is not enough to kill him, but it is enough to force him back. And every single camp that you can steal now matters. This is the game that Mozzarella has to win. They have to take it if they want to participate in the main event. And Meteor Makers, they know this. They want to win this final, of course, as well. And for them, if they take a strong team like Mozzarella out, then of course that main event is also going to be a bit easier for them. So at this point, they're going straight in here for another Bruiser camp. It's camps all over the map now. Another camp with Siege Giants claimed to the right side. Then again, with the rotation to the top, Ace and Taz Dingo are going to get their own Bruiser camp right now. Leoric already moving over. Map vision, important, and that's why Remaballer is taking this one. Smexy Style is immediately moving back. He doesn't know how many are there. He has no idea. So he's just saying, alright, I got this. I'm just like, I'm going to move back. I'm going to make sure that I don't die here. And T-Darker has now to join up with them too. It's a 4 versus 4 at the top lane. 2 of the tanks are now moving over. Phoenix has been used. Kel'Thas is the key hero for Meteor Makers now. He is the key hero for them. And Zagara with a Vine Shield barely alive, but she is surviving this. Smexy style is super low in his Mirrodin, but he has the stone form and he's using it, and they are chasing Blade. They are going for Khaldor. Khaldor in the backline, always trying to stay as safe as he possibly can. He's doing a good job with him. Level 19 for both of the teams. The damage against Tidaka. He tries to get away, stuns them out, gets put in with another Condemn, and the fort is about to fall. Temples activating again. 2 temples this time. Top lane, mid lane, that's where they are. And we have Tidaka and the rest of the team, of course, trying to go back and well up, get that mana, get those hit points. Smexy style, always using the jumps here, trying to rush away. But down here, it's a fort, it's a keep that is suddenly in trouble. Because we still have these siege giants, and that is damage. That's important damage that they put in right now, and somebody will have to deal with this eventually. At the top lane, Crisplosion going straight for temple number 1, and we already have, of course, now the red team moving in as well. They're trying to zone in on one of those shrines, and they're gonna get the one in the mid lane. Are they gonna jump in with Smexy style and try to stun somebody out? There's only the 2 tanks there, Rema, Baller, and Stork. Down here, Be Certified has deep pushed the lane already. It's the boss that they want. They want to go for the boss. They're already going for the boss. Level 20 talents already, though, for the opponent's team. We have Meteor Makers on 20s, but they go for the shrines alone. Indestructible Storm Shield, Double Ball of the Storm, and a Hardened Shield, and the boss is going to be claimed. The boss is going to end up in their hands, and now they have 22. We have double Hardened Shield, we have a double Bolt of the Storm, and there it is. They get it. They get it, and now they are trying to move in for the next temple. They're already moving straight into the Flame Strike, eating the damage here. The stun, though, against Stork. They go for him. Gravity Lapse against Mirrodin, and he jumps out and is safe, at least for now, and that Flame Strike doesn't hit either. So double Bolt of the Storm, giving Vala and Zagara more safety now. They are going to hit a few more shots from the one up at the top, but the bot lane rotation, this is where we are seeing now Meteor Makers now, trying to defend this keep. The keep about to be defended, the damage put in, Leoric has to move back, and he does. Smexy style at the front line with his Mirrodin, rather low now, but that boss is strong, 17 minutes in. And it's going to potentially... Yes, the keep is down. The keep is gone, but potentially kill against Mirrodin. No, heals and shields against him. And they're trying to take another one down, but a great heal from Crisplosion with the Ancestral Healing, making sure that Stork survives. Taz Dingo with even more damage. The spiders are leaping at him. But Taz is moving back. That strafe did damage, but they cannot get more than the keep. They couldn't kill a hero, but it is the first keep in the game that has just now fallen. 7 kills against 2. They take another Siege Giant camp, and up to the top lane, there's still shots available. And over here, only the keep survives. In the mid lane, the same issue. So they can rotate again from keep to keep, from fort to fort, going straight from one camp to another, and the top lane temple is now claimed. They go straight for this one. They're trying to take it. We have them moving in again. Oh, Ace. Very ballsy here, a little bit far out as the single healer of the team. Smexy style, of course, can allow that to happen. A lot of damage against Rema Baller. He's eating so much damage here right now. He has a pretty fair amount of stacks, of course, and therefore he has good regeneration. But still, the last few shots on the temple, can they get those? They're going to go for the battle. Once again, up at the top, Be Certified on the Zebo is very much alone. Taz cannot move in, so the shots are fired against the red team's structures. But the team fight, is that going to end in their favor, yes or no? Taz blinks away from the Condemn, moves in again. He has the strafe ready and he uses it. He uses his strafe, dishes out the damage. Oh, the shields, the blessed shield actually missing, and he goes straight for toe to toe against Khaldor. Khaldor is dead, and they go for Be Certified. He sprints away and drops the wall, but now Crisplosion is exposed. Heals himself with an Ancestral Healing, but eats that stun and eats that damage. He might be able to get away, but no, he drops 2, and this is 9 kills against 2. This is the chance they've been waiting for. And what are they doing? Are they actually gonna go and try to core? They move down 50 seconds, 30 seconds. Can they core? Ballsy call. Very, very ballsy call, but they are trying to end the game now. They have 25 seconds until Khaldor is back. This could be the chance of them to win the game, but it could be a throw as well. Taz is jumping around the core. They're going in for the damage. Stork, here comes the wall of zombies. Be Certified is there. They drop it to 70%. This is their chance, their opportunity. Zagara is dead already. 50% on the core. It's not going to be enough. Ace is dead. Taz Dingo is dead. 30%. No, my god. Tidaka 20. The hits. Anubarak and Mirrodin 10%. Ace of Spades is back to business. 1 is down, and this is game. Team Mozzarella Mozzarella advances. They are qualified. They take the best of 3. They win the final. And they qualify for the main tournament. Oh shit. Not even close, Kappa Kappa. Mozzarella, they do it. The call at the end of the game is a gutsy one, but they just barely make it happen. They take down that core, and Team Mozzarella is now qualified for Enter the Storm 3. Great play by them here. Really, really well done, and congratulations, of course. They win against Meteor Makers. They make it happen. They take an important team fight, and then they realize, hey boys, we have a second here. Let's rush in and try and take it. And it was close. It was really close. Just a few more seconds, and I think Meteor Makers would have been able to pull their defense off, and then they can turn the game around. But in this case now, Mozzarella, they qualify. And well, just like that, we have them, of course, entering the Storm 3. Next week, we're going to see a lot more games of this tournament, and it's going to be fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed the series, and well, if you liked the video, if you liked the commentary, then make sure that you give the video a thumbs up on YouTube. Also, subscribe to Khaldor TV if you haven't done that yet, and I guess I'm going to see you guys next week, not only for more Road to Bliss connection, but also more Enter the Storm 3, and then we're going to start, of course, with the group stages and the main event here. So this should be a lot of fun. Thank you very much for watching today, guys. See you next time. Bye bye.